Today, I want to show you how you can set up native background location tracking inside of your WeWeb mobile application using the Despia plugin. It's super simple. Let's take a look at that. So first of all, we want to make sure that we go to our Despia project and that we're going to go to add-ons to hard-code it and that we are enabling background location tracking. Once you have that enabled, if you haven't already, you want to then rebuild your application, republish it, so it creates a new app bundle and submits it to the Google Play and App Store as a draft if you have not enabled it yet. If it's already enabled, you don't have to do the step, but if you haven't enabled it yet and you're doing it right now, republish, rebuild the application, and then wait a little bit so you see it pop up in Android beta or test flight, and then you can continue with this video. Now, considering you already have it set up, you can now go inside of your WeWeb project, make sure you have the Despia plugin installed through the WeWeb marketplace. The way you can verify that is by going to Assets, to Library, click on the book, and you should see Despia Provider or anything named Despia inside of here. Let's close this. Now that we have it installed, we need to make sure that it is on the page where we want to implement the native functionalities. So let's go on Add and let's go to Assets, and now we see Despia Provider and we see this component and we're dragging it on top of the page. Beautiful. Now that we have it, that is all that we need. Now we need to start watching the background position. For that, I'm going to go back to basics and I'm going to add a button to the page. Just like this. And this button will be Start Background Location. And this button, and the Despia plugin should be on top of the page, but this button will now trigger the Start Background Location tracking. So we're going to go on the workflow. I'm going to create a new workflow that will be on click, and this workflow will run execute component action. The component will be the Despia plugin component, and then we're going to look for background location. I will do start background location tracking. And now I'm going to enable GPS for higher accuracy. I will do a default timeout of 5,000 milliseconds. Just like that. That is just usually what you want to do. You may want to implement some API buffering in there as well, some debounce, so you're not doing too many calls to your backend. If you're doing APIs, if you do WebSockets, that shouldn't be too much of your concern. It is though very high accuracy, meaning every little inch they're moving, you will get that event fired on the component. So if you're doing this with an API, make sure to add some debouncing. So you're calling it maybe like you're caching it a little bit for like 10 seconds, right? Or you're going to use WebSockets, which are also natively integrated in WeWeb, and then you can just, have that WebSocket connection happening, for example, with Xano or Supabase. There you go. But that's essentially it. This is how we're going to start the session. Now we need to stop the session, right? So we're going to add another button down here, and I'm going to do stop background location, just like this. Super simple. So now inside of here, we have start and stop. Now on stop, we need to also create a workflow. That workflow will be also execute component action. The component will be the Despia plugin. The action that we're going to run will be background, stop background location tracking. That's all we need. Let's close this. Now we are getting callback because we need to get the data somehow. And this is why we have added the Despia plugin component on top. Because if we click on the Despia plugin component and create a new workflow, you will see that if I click on click here, which is the default, we see that we have this on location change trigger. I'm going to take the on location change trigger because this will listen for the location changes that are native to the device. So now let's go back here on layout, and we want to just show that object for, illustration purposes here. So let's create a variable. Let's call that location. That will be an object because we'll be getting back an object, and there you go. That's it. Now we can go to the layout on this page, and we can just add like a text element here. Let's go to the text and let's give this text some sizing. Let's do a width of 25 rem. We can't do, let's do 200 pixels. There you go. We'll do 200 pixels width, so it kind of doesn't go over the screen when we're looking at it. But there you go. We now have this, and we're just going to link this with the variable. So we go on text, and we're going to move the project variable location inside of here. So we'll see the location, and we need to stringify this. So for that, I'm just going to use a little bit of JavaScript. It's pretty simple. I'm just going to do JSON.stringify, and I'm putting this in braces here, just like this. And now, as you can see, we'll be able to see this as text. You will probably just store it in the variable, send it to your backend, use a WebSocket to communicate with your backend. But I just want to show you this for illustrational purposes so you understand how to use that plugin, and then you can extend on top of that. Beautiful. So now what you want to do is you want to go back into the Despia plugin component, and you go back to your workflow. And now we have this onLocation change workflow here, right? Where we have onLocation change. And inside of here, I'm going to change the variable value. You could call your WebSocket inside of here, right? Or do an API that's buffered. And now we can go on variable value. And we can just set the location variable. Let's close that one. Let's set the location variable. And the value will come from the event. So we're going to go on this little flash icon here. And we go to the event, and as you can see, this will give us the data. We have speed, heading, watch ID, accuracy, altitude, latitude, longitude, timestamp, altitude, accuracy, right? So we're just going to put the whole event object inside of here, and this will set the variable. So you can see it will set the variable, and we'll get the data inside of here. Now, I do want this to not go over the screen. So how about we wrap this, well, let's see, inline block, no, that doesn't help. Let's remove the width on this, and let's wrap this in a div block. Let's put the div block down here, put this in the div block. Let's go to the layout. Let's go to the div block with this text, and let's give it a sizing of width 250 pixels. And it still doesn't wrap the way I want it to wrap. So let's see, spacing, border, effects, animation. I'm not a CSS expert, so let's see, text shadows, character space, no wrap off. I don't want it to wrap. CSS is so complicated. Let's do on, off, no, that doesn't do anything. Character case. So we're just going to scroll down. I can't figure out how to make this go into a specific spacing, which is completely fine. We can scroll to the side to get the whole thing. So in here on this button, we're running that, executing the component event, starting the background location, stopping it, and then on this Despia plugin component, we're setting the variable with the event data that we're getting here from this. So let's deploy this, and we're just going to type in new, and we're going to create a new update. Now the nice thing is, because Despia uses over-the-air updates, you will be able to push this update to all of your users and yourself without having to go through App Store approval or Play Store approval again. You just can update that interface and the native functionalities without going through any new approval process, completely compliant with the regulations, and you get over-the-air updates, and that makes it really nice because you don't have to wait 7 days for a critical change to be approved. You can fix issues and keep your users happy immediately in real time. So the moment this stopped building, we're done, the app is updated, we just need to reload the application, and we're good to go. Beautiful. So let's go to our application here. Let's open that application on the device. You will see that, oh, we still have some logic from a past video I made where we have tracking enabled. But if I start background location, you will see that now the background location is changing with all the other values here at the site. And when I stop background location, all those values will reset and no changes are being emitted anymore. And then you can use any real-time communication channel that you want to do to send this to your backend. And this will also work while the app is closed because Despia supports background fetch. Now, it can't be fully closed, obviously, but if the app is in the background, it will still work. If the phone is on sleep, it will still work. So that's a native, nice feature that we have set up. And yeah, that is pretty simple to use. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see all the exciting applications that you're going to build inside of WeWeb using the Despia plugin. Send me some of those links. I can't wait to take a look at them, and see you in the next video. Take care.